Good morning, everybody. After a recent retreat in the mountains with two of my guru brothers, I had an opportunity to take a deep dive into the connection between judgment and shame that I wanted to share with you. I think our capacity to judge is very normal. It's a survival skill. Imagine, say, that you couldn't distinguish a red light from a green light and you were approaching a corner in traffic. At that intersection, if someone approached looking like they weren't able to stop, it would be a real impairment to be unable to adjust your conduct to give them a wide berth. Taking a step further, it's one thing to say this light is green. It's another thing to prefer and have all sorts of feelings about green lights. What you'll notice is that should you be a green light preferring person at a red light, your day will become a little bit horrible. When the light turns green and again you have what you prefer, your day will improve. Now, that's a silly example. But the deeper we go into our system of preferences, the deeper we see that preference can really befoul our ability to handle all things with equal willingness. Now, imagine you're judging people in any way at all, just for the sake of argument. What'll happen is this, and this is my little micro thesis: when innocuous judgments of others become a habit, your capacity to judge doesn't stop later when you're alone. Blame, shame, resentment, remorse are just the normal judgments you make all day, continued and turned back on yourself in solitude. Judgments made of others will cause your own brain to engage in a particularly malevolent brand of self-deprecation later on. Any particular judgment, like just like desire and craving and addiction, continues to echo after the act itself. So we have to leave a lot of space in there if we're going to get like around or underneath that habit. It's not at all free. When I judge, it costs me my serenity. Judgment is a muscle prone to overdrive. You can't be harsh with others and then go into solitude and expect to be compassionate with yourself. That's not how the muscle works. Jesus said, "Therefore, do not judge. You will be judged with the same judgment with which you judge others." It's a clunky sentence, but it's a wonderful insight. Remember, that's not a statement of divine retribution for a bad deed. It's an empirical observation of how the muscle of ego works. It might not be our lot to have our egotism permanently suspended, but make no mistake, my life and your life is and will be an offering, whether we like it or not. And the consciousness of our offering determines whether this life becomes a hell, a purgatory, or a heaven. If we come to the foot of the cross with an offering of unaddressed clinging to judgment, we'll come to grief as we realize the depths to which our habits are still our responsibility. If we ascend the cross and are crucified with Christ, as judgment comes up in our inner monologue, it'll become a push-off point into devotion to Christ. When we get clear about what result we want and why, then we can more carefully choose how we act with regard to judgment when it comes up in our inner monologue. And the muscles become more voluntary as you exercise choice in how to handle them. I am feeling tired and yet very grateful after this retreat, because I saw that I have a lot more freedom than I thought. And my hope in sharing this with you is that you can go deep inside of yourself, look at your own capacity to judge, see the connection, and gain freedom to do with your inner monologue what you choose to do, because what you choose to do is helping. That's all. Good to be with you, and thanks for listening.